And now, your weekly programme of conversation, discussion and local news. The 10 Radio Community Show.
So now we are very pleased to welcome our next guests into the studio. Two for the price of one this time. Old friend of 10 Radio, Andy Spragg, joined by Denise Spragg.
Hello.
From the Sangha House in Taunton. It's lovely to have you both in the studio now. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely to be here.
Great to meet you. Denise, lovely to see you, Andy, again for too many months since we haven't had the chance to meet.
Yes, I know. I can't believe it's been so long.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Time just carries on passing.
Yep.
Sure does.
But for people who haven't heard Andy before, because we've spoken a couple of times over the last couple of years, but the Sangha House in Taunton is a mindfulness-based holistic health centre.
Yes.
Well, that might describe it, but it doesn't contain everything that the Sangha House does.
Actually, we thought about the name recently, and we've decided to call ourselves a wellbeing hub.
That's
because,
a good word for now.
Yeah, because you're absolutely right. We do so much. I mean, we do physical activities like yoga and Pilates and Tai Chi, but we're not just a yoga studio. We do therapies like massage, reflexology, foot care, but we're not just a therapy salon. We do counselling, hypnotherapy, but we're not just a counselling service.
It's very wide.
We've got a hair salon downstairs now as part of the delivery. But of course, we're not just a hair salon. So it's really difficult actually to describe what the Sangha House is, because it's all of these things.
And people need to explore the website and take that step, don't they?
That's
it's
right.
Not the easiest thing to do, I suppose,
No.
to sell such a wide package.
No, because us humans, we do like our boxes. We like to just understand that we're going to the yoga studio. And I think some people actually find the offering quite bewildering.
Yes.
One person described us as a chocolate box of health and well-being. I really like that.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Plain chocolate?
Absolutely,
Milk,
of course.
Absolutely,
well,
whatever.
Mixed, of course.
Mixed for everyone.
Absolutely, yes.
But it's a brilliant offering. Now, you two started the business not that long ago, 2016?
That's right, yeah.
So
yes.
Where did the idea come from? Did you sit down one evening over supper and say, shall we do this? Had you always been thinking of it?
Pretty much, actually, Pauline, yes. So we have run a retreats business just out the back of the garage in addition to our regular day jobs, which was a bit of a thing in itself. And we got to the stage of thinking we'd really like to make this bigger than it is. But with the constraints of what we were doing day to day, we couldn't really commit any more time to it. And so we just thought, well, we're going to have to really take this absolutely big. And I suppose we were thinking about it about 7 or 8 years ago. That's when the conversation over supper started.
Yes.
And yeah, so we moved from the southeast. We lived in a village outside Bedford, and we threw up all of the balls in the air. We moved to somewhere that we knew nobody virtually.
Now that's a big enough step in itself.
It was quite
most
big.
people would find that enough.
Yep.
As opposed to starting a business also.
Absolutely.
In an unknown area.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Some might call that rat.
Some might, yeah.
I tell you though, it's the way people open their arms to us.
How lovely.
So supportive of the business
Yes.
and wanted to see us succeed. That was one of the lovely things.
Yeah, really heartwarming. Yeah.
Because to remind listeners as well who mightn't remember, Andy is a Buddhist.
Yeah.
and Denise is a Christian.
I am.
So it's a lovely mix, and one that you wouldn't necessarily expect. You know, a mixed
true.
marriage, so to speak.
No,
I mean,
true. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely, yeah.
But all of that contains a good deal of what we ought to learn to live our lives by. So
Some might say, yeah.
And so the Sangha House itself is a lovely building. Describe where it is for people and how you got hold of that. Had it been empty?
Yes, it had been empty for a good long time, actually. It's right in the heart of Taunton, just by the old bus station, bottom of Corporation Street. It's actually an old 19th century convent, which gives it a sort of a natural spiritual feel. The main studio is on the top floor, so it's got a lovely vaulted ceiling of the old chapel.
And nice windows.
Yes.
Yes.
And then downstairs in the ground floor, we've got the salon. So you've got these beautiful stone arches, and that's why we called it the Cloisters Salon, actually. So very special place. We were very, very lucky. It was just being there at the right time. We were looking for a premises. We'd set our heart on Taunton, as Denise said, but we hadn't found a place. We got chatting to one of the landlords in the local pub, actually.
Often the best place to
Yeah,
start.
absolutely.
Yes.
He got interested in what we were doing, and he said, look, there's a place not 100 yards away from here. He said it's got a big sign out front, might do your job. So we went down and we got the estate agents out, and we walked into the top studio, and that was it. We
It
were
sold
sold.
itself to you.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yes.
Completely.
How
And
interesting.
it's been such a versatile building, actually. We built the therapy rooms, obviously. But the sheer space there, it's like the TARDIS. You walk in, it's a lot bigger than you expect.
I bet. Yes. Yes.
So because of that, it has a very versatile usage, really, which is why we are able to offer live social events as well as, activities.
Finally. Finally.
Finally, absolutely.
But when you started, what did you begin with? Core sessions that have grown, or did you begin?
Everything.
Did you?
Yes.
So you didn't do it by half.
No. We recruited an entire team, didn't we?
We did,
And
yes.
started.
That was ever so bold.
With a full 7-day schedule, plus the therapies.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we just went for it.
Yes. I mean, knackering comes into it.
Yes.
7 days.
7
Those
days.
early days were ridiculous, actually.
were. They
I
absolutely
actually discovered that I got vitamin D deficiency because we were not going outside at all.
Oh, so
And
no
I thought, oh
sunshine.
dear,
No, I mean,
better do
these were-
something about that.
Definitely. But these were 14-hour days we were working.
Yeah.
So,
We're not
yeah,
quite as
yeah.
crazy now.
No, not quite.
And I know we spoke previously, Andy, when you were with us about the massive amount of Zoom sessions you did during lockdown.
Yes.
And the work that involved. Did you both do that?
Yeah.
We did, yes. We
So-
are a double act. We're like Taunton's Morecambe and Wise. So yes, we did. We ran 1,300 Zoom sessions across all of the lockdowns. And Andy, do you want to tell people how many?
Yeah,
people
13,000 participants in
That's
them.
incredible. That's a stadium worth.
And actually,
people,
we
you know.
topped and tailed every single one. And that's why it was so hard for us. Because the Sangha House is all about the social side, bringing people together,
Sure.
Sangha, group of friends. And we knew if we didn't do something special, people would just turn up, stare at the little boxes on their screens, do the class and go away. So we actually got people talking at the start and the end of the classes, pulled them together talking about their days, what challenges they got. And actually it proved a bit of a lifesaver for a lot of people because they were getting no contact other than that.
Because we had no idea how we'd react, and lots of people found it a massive struggle, particularly people on their own,
Yeah.
isolated. You were probably that one link that they just clung on to, their own community.
Yeah.
People did say that. Yeah, we had a mother and 4 grown-up daughters, one of whom was living at home, one fairly local, and then the other 2 I think one was in Ireland and one was in France. And they all booked in for their same classes, so Mum could see how the girls were doing.
Sure.
And afterwards, I think they got together on their own private Zoom and just caught up and everything like that. So
But they'd done something together, even though they weren't.
Exactly, exactly.
How lovely. Yes. I mean, we curse screens and Zoom and digital existences, but it has been a lifesaver during lockdown.
It really has.
Yes, and for you, amazingly. So, with regard to people like the hairstylists or the reflexology people and so on, you have specialists and excellent people coming in and do sessions at the Sangha House. They come in and do their work.
We did a tally up the other day, didn't we?
We did,
and
yes.
actually, another reason why it's a hub is because of the sheer number of small businesses that are now based in that building. And we calculated, what was it, 28?
28, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So not only are you offering all this possibility to us, but you're giving work to 28 different people
That's
in
right.
different parts of their lives.
Yes, that's right. And allowing them to contribute to the economy and all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
That must make you feel actually rather pleased, because life is difficult enough and costs going up and all the things that we're reading in the papers every day. So to have a secure job, particularly if you're self-employed and maybe struggling a bit, is, I think, such a bonus.
Yeah.
And it's been a bit unexpected for us, because the original vision of the house, we really didn't expect that it would become the nature of what it is, actually.
Yeah.
But we've never been fixed about it. We've always allowed essentially our community, the people, to decide, and it's sort of morphed and changed on the way. And because of that, I think it's not become a fixed thing.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
No, it definitely has changed. I certainly never anticipated that we were going to be running a hair salon, for example.
No.
But the opportunity presented itself, for which we were massively grateful. And okay, let's do this, you know. And we've now got 4 very talented stylists.
4?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yes.
So, I mean, people can come and have a treatment or take part in a yoga class or Tai Chi or something, and then go and have their hair cut.
Absolutely.
How
And then
nice
get a
is that?
massage and get their feet done.
Yep.
Yes.
And
the
have a bit of
whole
hypnotherapy as well.
Yep.
What's not to like?
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah. And you're just sitting back, of course, observing all this.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yes.
It magically happens.
I don't believe that for a moment. Now, you two were poorly a week or so back, and you had to rejig all of your scheduling and so on. That must have been difficult.
It
Yeah,
was,
it
yes.
was a challenge.
I mean, we have a fantastic front of house person called Helen, and she has done an absolutely sterling job.
Helen, are you listening?
I hope
you
so.
are.
I hope so. Yes, she's out this way anyway, so I hope so. So she absolutely kept the ship running for us, which was fantastic. But of course, now we're back. I looked at my booking schedule for my own personal booking schedule for next week, and honestly, people have been absolutely shoehorned in. It's just crazy. So,
yes.
but it's great, you know.
Yes,
Being
yes.
back, I was back for the first time yesterday, and it was just so lovely to be back doing what I do.
And Denise, what do you do? What specifically do you do?
So my specialism is foot care.
Okay.
So I am one of only 3 therapists in the whole country who offer a service which it sits between cosmetic pedicure, so when you go and have your nails painted and all that stuff, and podiatry. So hopefully, breakfast time is about over. So I do deal with more complex feet than you would normally be able to do at a pedicure salon. So if people have problems with their toenails, I can treat diabetic clients, those sort of things. So it's a lovely thing, because I have a lot of my clients are ladies who are just starting to discover that they maybe aren't as young as they used to be. And the most common comment that my clients say to me is, I don't want feet like my mother's. And I think,
How interesting.
and I think those of us of a certain age
Yes.
can really understand that. So
Yes.
I can help people with the less pretty bits, but then we'll give you a lovely foot soak and scrub and massage, and make your feet look pretty as well.
Which matters.
It does. It absolutely
Yes.
matters. Yeah.
Yes.
And I love it.
How
Andy
interesting.
laughs at me. He thinks I'm weird, don't you?
Well, yeah, sitting there watching your videos, your training videos.
Yes.
Strange metal objects inserted under people's toes.
Yes, which seems alien.
Yes,
to you.
it does.
Yes. It's like I when one goes to the dentist, I think, why did you train to do?
Oh yes. Now that I don't
Now
get
there's
at all.
a job.
Yeah, absolutely. No, hats off to those folks, definitely.
Hats off to those. And our lovely bin men. Hello, bin men.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this coming week, everyone drops a day. Don't panic, a day.
That's right,
because
yep.
it's Easter.
Yeah.
But now, what we're getting on to, two things. We're actually getting on to your book.
Ah,
So
right. Yes.
let's talk about your book first, Andy, and then the concert you guys are
Sure.
organising.
Sure.
So the book.
The book, The Magic of Noticing. I mean, really, it's the culmination of probably about 15 years pulling together my thoughts on Buddhism. I've been practicing for 30 years, but one thing that has clearly emerged in my mind is a desire to show people that Buddhism is a spirituality for the modern world. It can be practiced even if you work in a busy modern office. You don't have to become a monk and live in a cave. So the book very much focused on that, but it also focuses on the simplicity and grounded nature of Buddhism. I think, unfortunately, the Western press, the Western media kind of position it in this very sort of esoteric, magical way, and it quite often gets lumped in with things like some of the strange goings on in Glastonbury, for example.
Yes.
But actually, it is a very grounded spirituality. So the book was all about demonstrating this, showing how to practice in this busy world. It was a lockdown project, I've got to say. It
As if you didn't have 7 million Zoom sessions to do as well.
I know. I don't like being bored. So, of course, I pulled all these 15 years of random writings together and read it through, and it was rubbish.
Oh, no. Oh.
So I started again and rewrote it, and it was a little bit better. And then I handed it to my editor-in-chief, lovely Denise here, who rewrote it again. And then, yes, it came out, and it's been very well received. And it's something I can now offer together with the teaching, the Buddhist teaching in the house. I have to say, there's another 2 books waiting in the wings, but I have no idea how I'm going to get those written.
Are they in your head still?
They are, yes.
Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, one of them is in the form of a training course. It's called the Eightfold Path, Fundamental Buddhist Teaching.
8 being the magic
Well,
number?
8 is kind of the 8 areas of our life, actually. So, Buddhism, the Eightfold Path, essentially looks at every aspect of our lives, things like livelihood, things like the way we think, what we say, the way we act, all of these aspects. So I really want to write that one because it's not often talked about in the West here. It's not often taught. And again, I want to bring it down to very basic brass tacks, how it applies to us.
How we can use it in our everyday life. Yeah.
And then the third book is even more tricky because that's called Withdrawing from Self, the practice of the unborn self, which is really, that starts to sound very esoteric, but actually isn't.
Is that about us stopping being so self-centred?
Yes, it's all about letting go of our ego, basically, and the practice of that.
Which we all have too much of,
Yeah.
I suspect.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the biggest challenge we have.
Yes.
Yeah, it's letting
How
go of that.
interesting.
So,
Gosh.
yeah, so I don't know when I'm gonna get around to writing these 2, but at some point I will. Yeah.
They will emerge. They
Yeah.
will emerge. And now on to the concert that you're organising at the Sangha House. So this is happening next weekend, the 23rd of April.
Correct.
Yes.
And you've got some wonderful musicians lined up.
We have. Yeah.
So tell us first, as we spoke with Guy Robinson, tell us first what, it's fairly obvious what inspired you to create this concert, but what made you think of this event and these musicians?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't us, actually. It was a lovely gentleman called Kevin, who has his own company called KD Installations. And they're essentially a bathroom fitters, kitchen fitters, home improvements. But he's a musician fan as well, and a good friend of his, Tobias Ben Jacobs. And essentially the two of them had this idea to raise money for the Ukraine through putting a concert on, but they didn't have a venue. And they approached us.
I see.
We are a bit of a machine when it comes to getting things organised and out there, so we leapt at it. We thought it was a wonderful idea. And then we realised actually that downstairs, who is actually part of our business community, is the wonderful Louis Martello, a trumpeter that lots of people know.
Well, we've actually got a piece to play by Louis Martel,
Fantastic.
so we'll finish shortly with that.
So he came into the group. So we've got Tobias Ben Jacobs, we've got Bob Galley, and we've got Louis Martello. Three hugely talented musicians in their own right. Louis is also pulling other people in, jazz band members, and maybe a female singer. It's going to be a wonderful night. We're going to raise as much money as we can through the ticket sales. All the ticket sale money goes to Ukraine.
So no fees being taken, nothing.
No,
elsewhere.
that's right. And then we're going to have a lovely auction as well. We've had some very generous prizes given. Patch Jobson, who you may know, the manager of Tone FM, he's going to be our auction master.
Oh, well done.
And we've got things like a 2-night yurt stay there, a barbecue, top end barbecue from B&Q.
Smart stuff.
A lovely hamper.
Yes.
Yeah, some really nice things actually.
But tickets are limited.
50.
So 50 people.
That's right.
So if you haven't got your ticket, well, how are the tickets going?
We've got about 20 left.
Okay.
So people have got to jump in quick.
Jump in quick. Because you're recommending a set. But how are you sort of recommending the price, and what are people generally responding?
Pure donation. So we've asked that a minimum of £12 a ticket. We're actually getting an average of about 25.
Yes. Which is lovely.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what people would expect to pay
Yes.
for a concert of this
Definitely.
quality.
Yeah.
And absolutely fine. I mean, you think of other concerts, that £20 is the bog standard sort of average, isn't it?
That's right.
That's it, yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, you're hoping for obviously lots of proceeds from the auction.
Yes.
And just generous donations.
Yep.
And that will be going to the Emergency Relief
That's
Committee?
right. Yeah, the Disasters Emergency Committee,
Yes.
and that is the sort of the kind of the official one, if you like.
The
And
overarching
that's it.
body.
Yeah, that's right. So we're then confident that the money is going to be going to where it's really needed. And I think there's also the amount of donations that are made or pledged; those are matched. So if you're donating your £20,
Wow.
actually you are raising £40.
Matched by whom?
I understand the government.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terribly good, isn't it?
So
Good grief.
that was a no-brainer for us. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. And so, I mean, so they approached you, and the musicians are set, and that's all fine, and it's obviously growing as you speak. But you've still got to do all the logistics. And the setting up, and presumably refreshments and ticketing and all of that.
That's right.
Yep.
So that's only a bit of work.
Yeah.
As well as
It's
running
fine.
the Sangha House
Yeah.
also. I love it. All the work, and it's all sort of eaten before breakfast,
For
so to
sure.
speak.
Absolutely.
Yes. But that sounds terrific. And, we've had a real theme running through the programme today of support for Ukraine, and the response is just so widespread across entire countries.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's fantastic to see the response of people. And I love it when you see the Ukraine flag flying on someone's house or
Yes.
on their gate post or whatever. It's very
Do you know,
nice.
one of the most amazing differences I see with this conflict and other previous conflicts is the attitude from the populations of one country to another. And what I mean by that is we don't see a lot of hatred towards Russia. We see hatred towards the individuals that have landed the Russians in this pickle in the first place.
We're
And that-
actually sorry for the Russians
Yes.
because they're
Yeah.
getting fed untruths.
Yes.
It's a massive difference to previous conflicts. Yeah. So I'm encouraged by that. Actually.
Yeah, me too.
But you're doing a lovely thing to actually raise money to help those people who are so struggling. I'm very glad to say that on Sunday, the first Ukrainian families arrived in Wivy.
Oh, wow.
And they're here,
Gosh.
and I think there are also families in Milverton and Bathleton.
Lovely.
So it's going to grow, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
is absolutely super.
Mm.
So many arms are open
Yes,
Yeah.
most
to
definitely.
welcome these mainly women and children,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
to our community, and hopefully they can get some peace for a little while.
I hope
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yes.
So the best way to book tickets for the concert.
If they go to our website, so thesanghahouse.co.uk, Sanga's spelt a bit unusually, Sangha, so thesanghahouse.co.uk. And if you click under the home tab, you'll find the events page. It's there.
And you can book online, pay online or set.
Give your donation online and that's it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, do look that up, thesanghahouse.co.uk. Everything's there. Thank you so much for coming in today, both. It's lovely to meet Denise.
Thank you. Yes,
who
you
we've
too.
spoke about before, but not met. So this
No,
is very nice.
It's been lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for inviting me. on.
And very, very good wishes for the concert.
Thank you.
Thank you.